Bienvenue en Inde pour ce deuxième épisode. L'Inde est déjà un pays chaud, et avec le réchauffement climatique, les besoins en climatisation ne feront qu'augmenter. On est allé voir à Hyderabad une solution qui s'appelle Structure Cooling. C'est un système qui permet d'évacuer la chaleur des bâtiments en faisant circuler de l'eau dans les murs et les plafonds. Son but, diminuer l'utilisation de la climatisation, qui reste très polluante.
I'm Madhusudan Rao. I'm the Managing Director for Urja Energy Engineering. We provide clean tech-based heating and cooling solutions which are renewable and energy efficiency based for industries as well as different types of buildings. Structure cooling provides very low energy cooling system for buildings, especially in tropical and Mediterranean climates. This structure cooling, as I said, is divided into two parts. One is a two-stage cooling tower that you see on the terrace because we need to evaporate water to provide cold water. And this cold water circulates in the pipes that are embedded in the building screed and takes away all the heat that is stored in the building thermal mass regularly. What we are suggesting many building developers is if they can have a separate line for grey water. The grey water can be recycled easily and used for structure cooling. Grey water that is used just for washing hands or washing face and is not as contaminated as the water that is in the toilet. If somebody is not using air conditioning, you will have 90% reduction in energy bill. But if you compare with the same comfort as an air-conditioned space, the energy savings will be in the region of about 60%. The problems that we see with excessive use of air conditioning is that excessive use of energy, which in a country like India, where most of the power comes from coal, is going to drive more CO2 emissions. The other issue is actually the use of refrigerants, which have high global warming potential. Since more adoption of air conditioning, what we are doing is letting the heat inside and then using air conditioning to remove this heat. Instead, if we are able to remove that heat from the structure itself, we would feel comfortable inside an envelope with just a fan. What we are doing with structure cooling is just flushing the heat that is trapped in the building, which allows us to be a very low energy cooling system and does not consume the energy that an air conditioner uses. In India's context, if you see, there are a lot of buildings that cannot be air conditioned. For example, the railway stations, the bus stations, the public schools or public health centers. These are all buildings which have high amount of people coming in and they are not closed. So air conditioning is not a solution, where structure cooling is able to provide comfort with fans and achieve a temperature between 26 to 30 degrees centigrade in these buildings. India's current air conditioning penetration is only 6%. And if every Indian has to experience comfort in harsh summers in India, air conditioning or compressor-based cooling cannot be the solution considering the amount of energy it would require. If we actually calculate, India would require 14 times more cooling capacity than US itself if every Indian has to experience comfort. So we are avoiding this heat buildup while using a very low energy cooling system for our buildings so that more and more buildings can afford comfort.
Réduire l'utilisation de la climatisation, ça passe par des innovations comme celle de Structure Cooling, mais aussi par un changement de mentalité. En Inde, par exemple, la température de confort pourrait se situer autour des 26 degrés, alors que la climatisation habitue à des températures de 22 ou 24 degrés. Et en France, c'est la même chose. En hiver, on chauffe le bâtiment à 21-22 degrés, alors que 19 degrés pourrait tout à fait suffire. Avec le dérèglement climatique, ce sont des questions qu'il faut se poser. Merci encore de nous suivre et abonnez-vous à notre page Instagram pour voir la suite de notre aventure indienne.